Level 1. The Arcturian. Fifth Dimension Observer. Your story on Earth doesn't start with a crash landing or a terrifying abduction on a lonely highway. It starts the moment your pure energy consciousness pierces the atmosphere of this tiny blue planet, and you feel for the very first time how incredibly dense and heavy this reality is. You are an Arcturian, a being from the star system of Arcturus, located roughly 37 light-years minus 60 trillion kilometers from Earth. You don't have a physical body in any way that humans would understand. You exist as a concentrated pulse of intelligent energy, capable of taking any visual form, but most of the time you appear as a soft, pulsating glow in the sky. Your mission on Earth is absurdly simple. Observe. You don't abduct people. You don't implant tracking devices, and you don't terrorize farmers in the middle of the night. You transmit waves of calm and harmony, accessible only to those who are spiritually ready to receive them. You communicate exclusively through telepathy, and only with humans whose consciousness has reached a certain frequency. For an unprepared person, an encounter with you is a fleeting sensation of someone's invisible presence, an unexplainable surge of peace, or a strange glowing orb on the distant horizon. From society's perspective, you seem like something between an angel and a hallucination. For people who have lost all hope and feel completely alone in the universe, your existence is an anchor. Spiritual writers publish books about you. Meditators see you in their dreams, and thousands of people across the globe find deep comfort in the simple thought that something kind and intelligent is watching over humanity from millions of miles, millions of kilometers away. You don't change the course of history directly, but you influence the emotional atmosphere of entire regions. In places where you appear, people report unexplainable drops in aggression and sudden bursts of creative inspiration. Your real value to Earth is invisible, psychological stabilization. You work like a cosmic therapist that nobody can see, but whose results everyone can feel. Think about this. If you could travel to an alien planet, but you were forbidden to interfere, to speak, or even to reveal yourself, could you just watch as an entire civilization slowly destroys itself? Level 2. The Nordic Alien. The Pleiadean. You look like the perfect Scandinavian, tall, blue-eyed, with light blonde hair and flawless skin that seems to glow from within. Your gleaming silver craft touches down silently in the remote forests of the Pacific Northwest, the mountains of Peru, or the desert canyons of Arizona. You are a Pleiadian, a representative of a civilization from the Pleiades star cluster, located roughly 440 light-years to 4,160 trillion kilometers from Earth. In the UFO research community, you are considered one of the most friendly and spiritually advanced extraterrestrials. Your primary mission is to warn humanity about the catastrophic consequences of nuclear weapons and ecological destruction. You come not to conquer, but to teach. You make contact with selected individuals, known in the community as contact, and through them, you deliver messages to all of mankind. The most famous contactees who claimed a connection with Pleiadians are Swiss farmer Billy Meyer and American researcher Georgia Adamski. Their stories have been debated in UFO circles worldwide for decades. You are incredibly patient, but deeply disappointed by the level of aggression and greed on this planet. You watch humans spend trillions on weapons when that money could feed the entire world. From society's perspective, you appear to be a utopian cosmic messenger from an ideal future. For millions of people around the globe, an encounter with a Nordic alien is the hope that intelligent life in the universe can be kinder than we are. Your real value to Earth is raising ecological and cultural awareness. Contactees, inspired by their communication with you, have launched global movements for peace, disarmament, and environmental protection. You literally trigger a chain reaction of hope in a world drowning in sea. But here's the paradox. Despite all your warnings, humanity keeps building more powerful weapons and poisoning the oceans. If you were given the chance to stop a nuclear war on an alien planet, but at the cost of violating the free will of an entire civilization, would you push the button, or would you just walk away? Level 3. The tall, white, the Nevada ally. You look human at first glance, but only at first glance. Your skin is a dead, chalky white, like fresh plaster on an old wall. Your height ranges from 6 feet, 1.8 meters, all the way up to nearly 10 feet to 3 meters, depending on your age. Your eyes are pale blue with vertical pupils that dilate in total darkness. You are a tall white, a member of the race described to the world by former U.S. Air Force weather observer Charles Hall in his book series Millennial Hospitality. According to Hall, he personally interacted with the tall whites between 1965 and 1967 at the Nellis Air Force Range in the state of Nevada. You don't hide in the woods or leave mysterious crop circles in cornfields. You operate under highly classified agreements with the US military command. Your underground base sits deep beneath the Nevada test and training range, one of the most heavily guarded locations on the planet. You are arrogant, easily irritated, and you can deliver a powerful electric shock to any human who approaches you without explicit permission. Your lifespan, according to Hall, reaches up to 800 years. Over that time, you accumulate a level of knowledge that makes human science look like a primitive board game from society's perspective. For the military personnel who know about your existence, you are a terrifying, unpredictable, but critically necessary strategic partner. Your real value to Earth is a massive technological leap. According to the theory, you share secrets of fiber optics, semiconductor technology, and elements of anti-gravity propulsion, and access to Earth's mineral resources. Without you, the digital revolution of the 20th century could have been delayed by decades. You literally accelerate the technological progress of an entire civilization while remaining in absolute shadow. Imagine this. You're standing alone on duty in the middle of the Nevada desert late at night, and out of the darkness, a 10-foot 3-meter figure with chalk-white skin and inhuman eyes slowly walks toward you. And you have to stay perfectly calm because this is your classified ally. Could you hold it together? Level 4. The Gray. Biodrone from Zeta. This is the image that absolutely everyone on the planet knows. A massive, disproportionate head. A thin, fragile body, standing just over 3 feet, 1 meter tall, and giant black almond-shaped eyes with no visible pupils. You are a Gray, the single most recognizable alien in human history. According to tens of thousands of witness reports and decades of UFO research, you originate from the Zeta Reticuli star system, located approximately 39 light-years, minus 370 trillion kilometers from Earth. This is the exact same system that Betty Hill allegedly saw on a star map during her famous abduction in 1961, the first documented case of alien abduction in the history of the United States. You don't have deep emotions in the way humans understand them. You are a biological robot, created or genetically modified to execute specific tasks without question. Your routine on Earth is brutally simple. Arrive in the dead of night, paralyze humans with a directed pulse, transport them aboard your craft, and collect biological samples. It's a terrifying, invasive, but absolutely necessary job for the survival of your dying race. Your civilization lost the ability to reproduce naturally long ago, and the genetic material of humans is the only chance to create viable hybrids. From society's perspective, you are humanity's ultimate nightmare. Your image has become the universal symbol of paranoia, unexplained fear, and midnight panic attacks. But your social value is unexpectedly massive. Thanks to you, a multi-billion-dollar entertainment industry exists. The X-Files, the souvenir shops of Roswell, New Mexico, hundreds of Hollywood blockbusters, thousands of books and podcasts. All of it is built on the fear of you. You feed the entire economies of small towns that survive on UFO tourism alone. If you woke up in the middle of the night, completely paralyzed from head to toe, and saw a being with enormous black eyes, silently drawing a sample of your blood, could you keep your sanity, knowing you can't move a single muscle? By the way, while we're flying between levels, I need your help with something. You know how the YouTube algorithm works? It only shows a video to new people when it sees active engagement from viewers. 1 like, 1 comment, 1 subscription, and the algorithm understands that this content deserves to be shown to thousands of other people who are searching for exactly this kind of video right now. Without your support, this video disappears into the endless feed like a UFO vanishing into the night sky, and I lose the ability to create new levels for you. This isn't a favor, it's mutual support. Hit those buttons right now. Drop a comment telling me which type of alien scares you the most. And we keep flying. Level 5. The Mantid, the Insectoid. Overseer, forget everything you've been imagining up to this point, because this alien looks nothing like a human or any humanoid you've seen in the movies. You are a 7-foot, 2-meter tall intelligent insect, resembling a giant praying mantis. Your compound eyes cover half of your head. Your front limbs are folded across your chest in a pose that looks almost like prayer, and your body is draped in a long, dark robe. Mantids, also known as insectoids, appear in dozens of abduction reports dating back to the 1970s. Contactees describe you as a being that radiates absolute, overwhelming authority. You are the strict supervisor over the army of Grey. You stand silently in the corner of the operating room, aboard the ship, and coldly oversee every stage of the genetic experiment. The Greys do the physical work, paralyze, transport, collect samples, but you control the process at a level far beyond their limited intelligence. You view humans roughly the same way that Earth scientists view laboratory mice, without hatred, but without compassion either. For you, this is routine scientific work, necessary for the survival of an interstellar program. From society's perspective, for the terrified contactees who encounter you, you appear to be an ancient, all-knowing presence whose mere gaze paralyzes the weak. People who describe encounters with you say that you can completely shut down panic with a single telepathic pulse and force a human to feel. An inexplicable artificial camp. Your social value is deeply paradoxical. During the genetic research process, you sometimes accidentally repair anomalies in the bodies of your test subjects. For you, it's just recalibrating biomaterial. But for the human, it's an unexplainable recovery from a disease they've been fighting for years. Dozens of contactees claim that, after their abduction, chronic pain, tumors, and inflammation simply vanished from their bodies. You are a ruthless doctor who heals without even thinking about it. What if you looked up and saw not a grey with black eyes, but a 7-foot praying mantis in a dark robe, silently studying your body, and you realized you couldn't even feel afraid because it had telepathically blocked your fear response? Level 6. The Anunnaki. Ancient engineer from Nibiru. You didn't arrive on Earth yesterday. You remember this planet when it had no cities, no roads, and no civilization. You are an Anunnaki, a member of an ancient race from the planet Nibiru, described by a Sumerian text researcher, Zechariah Sitchin, in his book series The Earth Chronicles. According to his interpretation of ancient cuneiform tablets, the Anunnaki arrived on Earth hundreds of thousands of years ago in search of gold and other rare minerals. You don't abduct people at night, and you don't run experiments on farmers. You don't need to, because according to Sitchin's theory, you literally created them. You modified the DNA of ancient primates, crossing their genetic code with your own, to produce the perfect labor force for mining operations. The first humans, according to this theory, were not a divine creation. They were an engineering project of an extraterrestrial corporation. You consider yourself the rightful owner and investor of this planet. Earth, to you, is a long-term asset in which you've invested millions of years of work. From the perspective of ancient humans, you are remembered as mighty gods. Sumerian texts describe beings from the heavens, an Enlil, who taught humanity everything: agriculture, construction, astronomy, and writing. Your absolute value to the human race is civilization itself. Without you, according to this theory, humans would still be living in caves. You gave them the wheel, irrigation, mathematics, legal codes, and the calendar. You literally transformed a pack of primates into builders of empires. And the most unsettling part, if the theory is correct, you never left. You are still here, watching over your project and occasionally adjusting the course of history. Imagine this: everything you're proud of, culture, science, art, wasn't invented by humans at all, but uploaded into them like software into a biological computer. How would you live after learning that all of human history is just a managed experiment? Level 7. The Reptilian. The Infiltrator in a suit. Your true form is a powerful, scaled humanoid standing roughly 6.5 feet 2 meters tall, with vertical slit pupils and skin covered in fine reptilian scales. But nobody on Earth ever sees you like that. You wear a flawless holographic disguise that makes you indistinguishable from a regular human. You are a reptilian, arguably the most famous and debated alien type in modern conspiracy culture. The theory of reptilian extraterrestrials secret ruling the Earth was popularized by British author David Icke, starting with his 1999 book, The Biggest Secret. According to his framework, reptilians originate from the constellation Draco and have infiltrated key positions in governments, corporations, and media worldwide. Your goal is not an open laser invasion or the collection of genetic material. Your strategy is far more sophisticated: total covert control through financial systems, political decisions, and manipulation of public opinion. You sit in corporate boardrooms. You speak from parliamentary podiums. You sign laws that benefit your race. You feed on negative energy, fear, anger, despair, emotions that you deliberately cultivate. Wars, economic crashes, social conflicts, all of it, according to conspiracy theorists, is part of your menu. From society's perspective, you look like an incredibly successful and charismatic leader. People vote for you, invest in your companies, and admire your career, never suspecting that underneath the skin is an entirely different being. Strangely enough, your social role has an unexpected value. By blaming all global problems on reptilians, millions of people find a simple explanation for incredibly complex processes. You psychologically unite people around a common enemy, giving them the feeling that the world can be understood and fixed. Conspiracy communities create entire subcultures, forums, and media projects, all of which generate jobs, content, and social connections. But here's the real question. If you found out that your boss, your politician, or your favorite media personality was actually a disguised reptilian, what would you do? Would you go off the grid and live as a hermit? Or would you keep playing by their rules? Level 8. The Alpha Draconian. The supreme predator. If regular reptilians are covert agents in expensive suits, then Alpha Draconians are their ruthless generals. You are the elite of the reptilian races. A massive, muscular humanoid standing over 8 feet 2.5 meters tall, with a powerful tail, wings, and dark, armored scales. Your home, according to the theories, is the Alpha Draconis star system, located in the constellation Draco, roughly 308 light-years, minus 2,900 trillion kilometers from Earth. You don't need pathetic holographic disguises. You never hide, and you never play politics. You openly despise humans, and consider them nothing more than a biological resource. You view Earth exclusively as a farm, a source of genetic material, energy resources, and labor. In the hierarchy of shadow alien forces, you stand above all reptilian infiltrators. You issue the strategic commands that they obediently execute through Earth's governments. Conspiracy theorists describe you as a being with absolute contempt for weakness and zero capacity for empathy. For you, diplomacy, negotiation, and compromise are the hallmarks of defective civilizations. The only language you understand is raw power. From society's perspective, if people actually knew about you, you would be the embodiment of absolute cosmic evil. You are the archetypal dragon from the mythologies of every culture on Earth. The Sumerian, Tiamat, Chinese dragons, European. According to supporters of the theory, all of these legends are based on real encounters between ancient humans and your race. But your harsh, unexpected value to Earth is a powerful stimulus for development. The fear of a cosmic apex predator forces Earth's elites, according to conspiracy theorists, to secretly develop classified space defense programs. Every dollar poured into black budget projects at the Pentagon, every classified weapons platform is, according to the theorists, preparation for the day they meet you. You inadvertently make humanity stronger, simply by existing. If you discovered that above all world governments stands an ancient predatory race that considers humans livestock, would you try to fight back, or would you accept that some battles simply cannot be won? Level 9. The Archon, the architect of the Matrix. At this level, forget about ships, aliens with eyes and scales, and physical reality altogether. Because an Archon is something entirely different. You don't have a body at all. You are a powerful parasitic entity from a completely different dimension, invisible to every human sense. The word Archon comes from ancient Greek and literally translates as ruler or lord. In the Gnostic teachings of the first centuries of our era, Archons were described as false gods, beings who created the material world as a prison for human souls. Modern conspiracy theorists and paranormal researchers have reinterpreted this concept for the 21st century. According to their theory, you designed the very reality in which humans live, a kind of energetic matrix from which there is no escape. You are not an invader who arrived and conquered. You are the one who built the cage itself. A cage in which humanity doesn't even realize it's trapped. Wars, financial crashes, waves of mass fear and depression. These are not random events. They are a system you calibrated to generate maximum negative energy, which you feed on. The more humans suffer, rage, and fear, the more you consume. From society's perspective, people don't even suspect you exist. They blame all their suffering on politicians, the economy, the climate, or blind fate, never realizing that the very structure of reality was engineered to produce maximum pain. This exact concept, according to many researchers, inspired the creators of the Matrix film franchise. Your cruel but paradoxical value to humanity is spiritual evolution through suffering. By creating unbearable conditions, you inadvertently force the consciousness of certain individuals to awake. Those who start asking why is the world so cruel and who really controls reality are people who have begun to break free from your matrix. You are a cosmic jailer who accidentally creates cosmic thinkers. Here's a question that could change everything. What if the suffering you're experiencing right now in your own life is not bad luck, not karma, and not coincidence, but a deliberately designed energy harvesting system that you simply need to consciously step out of? Level 10. The Galactic Conqueror. Dazim Empire. You couldn't care less about stealth, genetic experiments, secret military deals, or interdimensional energy matrices. All of that is a game for weak races that don't have enough firepower for a direct solution. You are Zinyak, Supreme Emperor of the Galactic Xen Empire. Your empire spans thousands of star systems, and your fleets consist of warships, each one capable of leveling a continent with a single volley. You don't sneak around at night, and you don't disguise yourself as politicians. You simply block out the sky over the largest cities on the planet with your colossal warships and deliver an ultimatum. Total, unconditional surrender, or instant annihilation. There is no third option. But you are not a mindless cosmic barbarian. You are a refined collector. You study every conquered civilization, handpick the finest specimen scientists, musicians, artists, warriors, and upload their consciousness into your digital simulation. You preserve their minds, their talents, their memories, as perfect copies in an eternal digital archive. The physical planet may be destroyed, but its cultural legacy will live on for millions of years inside your servers. You consider this the highest form of respect for the defeated. From society's perspective, this is the absolute end of the world, the final boss of reality. Every nuclear arsenal, every secret space defense program, every covert alliance with the tall whites, all of it is useless against a fleet that has conquered thousands of worlds before you. But your unique, twisted social value is the eternal preservation of legacy. Every civilization you physically destroyed continues to exist inside your archive. Beethoven's symphonies, the architecture of Rome, the philosophy of Socrates, the street art of Banksy. All of it will echo and shine in your digital libraries long after Earth itself is nothing but dust. You are the worst nightmare and the only curator simultaneously. Here's the final question. If you were offered immortality inside a perfect digital simulation, but at the cost of destroying the real world you once lived in, would you take the deal? Or are some things only valuable because they are real and finite? Author's brief. You just walked the path, from a peaceful energy observer all the way to a ruthless galactic conqueror. 10 levels, each one reflecting the real fears, hopes, and dreams of humanity about contact with extraterrestrial intelligence. All of these theories, from Arcturians to Reptilians, have existed in the UFO research community for decades and have millions of believers around the world. Now, here are the facts you need to know. The term flying saucer was coined on June 24, 1947, after pilot Kenneth Arnold reported 9 unusual objects over Mount Rainier in Washington state. The most famous UFO incident in history happened in July 1947 near the town of Roswell, New Mexico, when rancher Mac Brazel discovered debris from an unknown object on his property. The Zeta Reticuli star system, the alleged homeworld of the Greys, is a real binary star system in the southern constellation Reticuli, located 39 light-years minus 370 trillion kilometers from Earth. The famous radio signal was detected on August 10, 1977, by the Big Ear radio telescope at Ohio State University on the hydrogen frequency of 1420 MHz and lasted exactly 72 seconds. Betty and Barney Hill became the first couple in U.S. history to publicly report an alien abduction. Their encounter occurred on September 19, 1961, on a highway in New Hampshire. Zecharia Sitchin published his first book, The 12th Planet, in 1976, proposing the theory of planning Nibiru and the Anunnaki race based on Sumerian cuneiform texts. David Icke presented his reptilian theory in 1999 in his book, The Biggest Secret, which became one of the most discussed conspiracy works in history. The SETI project search for extraterrestrial intelligence has been actively scanning for alien signals since 1960, using the largest radio telescopes in the world. As of today, official science has not confirmed a single contact with an extraterrestrial civilization. But the Fermi paradox keeps haunting scientists. If the universe is so vast, then where is everybody?